Okay, I'd like to introduce two new speakers that we're going to have to do our parent education program today. We have Alana Lowry and Victoria Sale. They are going to be presenting social media, how to keep our kids safe and happy. They are from Common Sense Media. Alana Lowry is the director of Common Sense Media, a San Francisco-based nonprofit that studies how media and technology affect children. In August 2018, the 15-year-old organization partnered with the Arizona Community Foundation, the Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust, and Phoenix IDA on a statewide digital well-being initiative that Elena will oversee. Elena is the former editor-in-chief of the Phoenix Business Journal. She's currently an associate professor at Arizona State University. In the State University's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications. In 2015, she was inducted into the Valley of the Sun Society for her more than 25 years of dedication to the profession. In 2014, Elena was a Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce Athena Award finalist. She was honored as a Woman of Distinction by the Girl Scouts Arizona Cactus Pine Council. She will be joined by Victoria Saylor. Victoria is the Arizona Regional Manager in charge of education for Common Sense Media, and she has over 20 years of experience in the education sector as an elementary school teacher, a university advisor, bringing a strong sense of student advocacy and best practices to her role at Common Sense. And Victoria is a recipient of the Above and Beyond Award, which recognizes educators who have made a lasting impact in the lives of their students and community. I'm going to let Elena and Victoria introduce Janice. Janice, would you like to introduce us?
Yeah. So thank you all for having us here today. We're really excited that we have an office here in Arizona. And I wanted to make sure that you all knew that Janice Mack is on our advisory council. So you not only have a direct link to Common Sense through Victoria and myself, but you also have an even closer link through Janice. So she's been great in helping us do things like this and prepare, to go out into the community and do some other things. So thank you, Janice.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
Okay. And are we can get started. The Fireside teachers, I'm sorry. How about Teresa Simmons and Shannon? Can you stand up? Teresa is the principal at Fireside. Shannon is the assistant. So they're going to be joining us a little bit later in the presentation. And the parents, can you guys stand up? These are the Fireside parents that have been working also in conjunction. It's a big collaboration with the staff and the administrators. Who else are we missing? There's one back here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves real quickly?
We can do it.
We'll do it when we get up.
When you get up? All right, that'll be great.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
We'll keep things moving because we know that you guys have had a really long.
Move over.
A long day. Move over more. Okay, I'm a wanderer. So we'll go ahead and get going. You've already met us. Here's our contact information that'll be available to you. We left some materials in the back as well. So if you need to reach us, you've got Vicki, myself, Janice, Marisha.
Yeah, all sorts of people.
All sorts of people. So this is who we are. For those of you who have not heard, has anybody in here not heard of Common Sense Media? No? Okay. So we are the nation's leading nonprofit organization, and we are dedicated to improving the lives of kids and families by providing trustworthy information, education, and an independent voice. So for those of you that are familiar with our ratings and reviews, that's probably how you know us. Most people, that's how they know us because that's how they got started on our website and with our organization. So these are the ways that we help kids thrive now in the 21st century. We rate, that's the ratings and reviews that I just mentioned, of all media, video games, movies, books, you name it, Common Sense rates it. We educate, and Vicki is, I don't know why I'm being so formal, Vicki is going to talk to you at length about what we do in the schools, and then she'll focus on social media for today. And then advocate. So in San Francisco, where our home base is, in California, they've been able to enact some very tough digital privacy laws for kids. And so they've taken on that effort. We have offices in Washington, D.C., where they also do advocacy work. We probably aren't going to hit on advocacy work here just yet. We need to make ourselves known in the community, and we need to be able to get the support of the people in the community before we can start changing laws here. Our legislature is very different than that in California, for those of you that didn't know. So we have to kind of go at it in a little bit of a different way. The other thing that's not on this slide that we do that I want you to be aware of, so we rate, we educate, we advocate, and we investigate. The research that Common Sense has done in the last 5 to 6 to 7 years has just been outstanding. And if you're interested in any of that research and the results and the findings of things like we've done a social media report for kids. We've done virtual reality. We just released information on smart speakers, and I'll talk to you a little bit later afterwards or whatever. We have an event coming up at the end of the month about smart speakers and voice-assisted devices and how they impact kids and the family. So that kind of research we do on a regular basis. And it's all available on our website, which there's a slide here with our website on it too. But if you go to that website, there's a research section, and you can see all of the different reports that Common Sense has done. So we're new to Arizona. We have been here since December 5th. was my very first day. And I just wanted you guys to see, so in Arizona, our goals and objectives are a little bit different than they are in other areas, other regions where Common Sense has offices. And we have offices in LA, we have offices, I mentioned Washington, D.C., the Bay Area, now here, and
Chicago.
Oakland, Chicago, all over the place. We're everywhere. So in Arizona, obviously we need to raise the awareness about the impact of media and technology on kids. That's why we do things like this. That's why we're out in the community. That's why we're going to host events, all of that. We really want to empower young people to use technology safely and responsibly and in support of their digital well-being. Common Sense is not here to tell anybody to take technology or devices away from your kids, to take it out of the classroom. That's not who we are. We know that kids are consuming a lot of media, and what we want and what we hope is that we can help parents help their kids create media instead of consuming it, so much of it. Build families and educators' knowledge, skills, their confidence in harnessing technology as a positive force, and then champion those statewide policies that I mentioned that promote digital well-being, health, and privacy. So now I'm going to turn it over to Vicki, because she's got all the juicy information. I just have the overview stuff. But if anybody is interested, Vicki has to go over. But if anybody's interested in finding out more, or they want one-on-one conversation about what we're doing here in Arizona, what our goals are, feel free to reach out to Janice, to myself. I'll sit down with you one-on-one. We can come out to individual schools, whatever you're interested in.
Thank you, Elena. So hi, you can call me Vicki, and I am the Arizona Regional Manager. I'm a former educator here in PV, so I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate your presence here today. Common Sense is here to empower you. We're not here to scare you. I know the internet can be a really scary place, and some of the things that we're going to talk about can be alarming, and I'm sure you are already aware of them. But we are here to give you some tips and advice, some strategies, how to combat those, some of those negative influences online. So let's go through our session goals just so you know what we're going to cover. So we're here to give you some tips and tools for keeping your kids safe and healthy online. We're also going to give you some strategies that you can use to create a positive digital footprint and to create positive digital citizenship in your kids. And I'll go over what those terms mean if you're not familiar with those. And we're also here to help you find resources on our website and help you navigate that a little more easily. So before we begin, let's ask you a question. What are your biggest concerns about digital media? And I'll take a few comments. So what are some concerns? Yes?
It's gonna mush up their brain.
It's gonna mush up their brain. Another one.
I think it's, how do you wanna say, there's like so many different, to kind of like lock it down and keep the right, security levels as far as the content that they can access. there's so many devices and there's so many places, it feels like, that you have to go to, that it's like you feel like you're for sure gonna miss something.
Right, so privacy settings, we wanna be up on the privacy settings, and there are a lot of those
Yeah.
in content, not just on the actual app
It's like,
sometimes.
can you just do it on their phone, but then you have to go into YouTube,
Yeah,
and do it on
and
YouTube,
then you have to
and
get
then
the app.
phone,
The
and
app
then
has
the
its own
Xbox, and then
settings.
like, it's like, whoa.
Right, good point, yes.
There's so much information, helping our kids know what information is true and what's not.
Right, and that's a very good point. A lot of times we're overwhelmed with information, so we don't know where to start. So a lot of times we just hand it over to them, and we're hoping that they'll figure it out, because if we don't know what to do, we're just hoping, like, I can't keep up with this. So hopefully you're getting it at school. Hopefully you're keeping up with it, because you're the 21st century learner. So you know more than I do. How many have said that? Well, they know more than we do. You know, let's know just as much, right, or more, because we want to empower our kids, and we're their parents. So let's get on the same page, right? We want to empower them. Let's move on. So I'm sorry, we can talk later, but let's talk about some strengths too, because we don't just want to be here doom and gloom. We also want to talk about the benefits of media. So what are some benefits of digital media?
Well, my son finds amazingly interesting things on YouTube. He's on it too much, but so their minds are opened, I think, to a lot of different possibilities and opportunities.
Yes, wonderful point. Creativity is wonderful. Yes, in the back.
So I love it, like when we're out to dinner and we might be like, oh, well, what does this word mean? Oh, pull out your phone and we Google it, and then we know the answer like instantaneously.
Right.
Or facts on any subject that we're talking about, we're like, oh, just Google it. And then I love that we can use it as a learning opportunity.
Right, so using it with your kids for learning opportunities and to engage conversations with your family, that's a really important tool to use with them. One more, anybody?
My high school is more politically and socially informed than I ever was at her age.
Right.
Which it has pros and cons, but she's learning stuff and engaging in conversations with me.
Right.
Which is
It can provide a platform for different interests, and one is if your child is an advocate or is into political issues, it can provide that as well with like-minded users. So let's talk about how we can set them up, right, for success, and we'll go over some underlying principles that we can all adhere to. And again, all families are different, so take what you can from this presentation and see what fits for your family and start there. It's not one size fits all, and so we're just here to give you advice and give you some suggestions, but I'm learning too as a parent. We're learning as we go, so I'm sure you guys are doing so many things right already, and hopefully this will also help solidify that thought in your mind. Somebody said, I don't want to mess them up. You're probably not messing them up, and the internet's probably not messing them up as much as you think. So let's go through what some steps are to set them up for success. And this is with all media, so we're just going to do an overview. So we want to use media with your kid. Like the nice lady in the back said, she said, let's use it with our kids. So we want to encourage playing with your kids with media, watching. So co-view, co-play, co-use. We want to do that, okay? So co-play, co-view, co-use. We want to remember that. Engage with them. Don't make it, don't accuse them of always wanting to be online. Get in there with them, make it a learning opportunity. We want to set rules and we want to be consistent, okay? We want to have that follow through with them as well. We want to set expectations, and a lot of times rehearsing with the little ones is really important, and the sooner you start, the better. They're getting younger and younger with those devices. So the sooner you set those expectations and you follow through, you're on the same page with your partner, that will also help. Connect media to real life. If they are watching the news, make sure that you talk about it. A lot of times there are fake news stories. Help them be critical thinkers. How can you tell if that's fake or real? So engage those conversations. And it goes to commercials and advertising. A lot of times they're influenced with commercials and advertising. Make sure that you are aware of background television. A lot of times we don't count that as viewing or TV time or media time, but that's going on in the background. So be aware of what's going on in the background. A lot of times they're not allowed to watch a certain show, but then all of a sudden it's in the background. So there's still they're still hearing what's going on. So be aware of background noise when you're using media. Encourage creation as well as consumption, like we heard over here. There are a lot of nice apps out there that can help with creation. There's do-it-yourself kids, there's YouTube, you can do iMovie, you can do, they can get on Pinterest if they want to, pin some of their hobbies, if they're into makeup or fashion or cooking. Minecraft is one that a lot of kids are into right now. That's a creative tool. Talk about digital citizenship. When I talk about digital citizenship, we talk about what is it to be a good citizen online, having empathy, using it correctly, healthy, in a safe way. Also having that balance. So that's what it means to be a digital citizen. Be a critical thinker as well online. And model the behavior you want to see. Many of you know kids do what they see, right? Children are a product of their examples and they learn what they live. So make sure that you are modeling the behavior that you want to see as well. And always check for privacy settings. As soon as you give them that device, okay? We want to check those privacy settings. A lot of them default to public and we don't know that. So make sure that the first thing you do is you go in and you check those privacy settings. So how many of you have elementary school age children? Okay, great. So right around the age of 8, they become more independent and they want that freedom to explore on their own. And you want to give them those tools because pretty soon they'll be doing that without your guidance, right? So you want to make sure that you're setting them up for success by giving them that freedom, but also showing them how to look for the proper apps and games to use. Minecraft, Roblox, Animal Jam, those are all really popular right now. They all have parental settings. They also have kid-friendly settings. Some parents think it might be too violent. There is a setting on there that you can go in and change and it'll be more kid-friendly, even though it is meant for kids. Also, chat can pose a lot of risks, and a lot of us are concerned that there are predators out there. More often than not, it's another child that's going to be the culprit. And so as much as we're afraid of that online predator, more often than not, it's somebody they know that's posing that risk with them. So make sure that you're having those conversations and you can role play, like what happens if you hear this online, or what happens if you get this kind of message, like what can we do to combat that? Also have clear stopping points. It's really easy to give our kids that device and they're out of our hair, and so we're like, okay, they're not bothering me, and 3 hours later, they're still watching something on their device, or they're still playing a game, because we need a break, right? So it's easy just to fall into that, and if they're not bothering us, great. But make sure that you have clear stopping points and options for your kids. And there is a parental control app, for example, My Watchdog, that can help you. That can help screen text messages and other content that you might not want your kids to be looking at. So I am going to have to click on that. Elena, do you want to click on that for me? Sure. Thank you. I'm going to show you a list of some safe chat rooms. This is an example of how you can use our website. So here, if you go onto our website, for example, you'll click in here and it's under parents, and you'll see an article comes up, safe chat rooms and social sites for kids. So there are several on here. And because of time, I'm not going to go through them. But if you go to our website and you go under parents, and you can even type in the search engine if you don't remember where it is, just safe chat rooms, and it'll pop up. Okay, all right, we're done with that. Thank you. Okay, so I'm not going to click it just yet. I'm going to ask you a question. So, what do you think teenagers want right now? What do you think they want more than anything right now? Somebody in the hat.
Privacy, independence, and acceptance.
Okay, privacy, independence, and acceptance.
A phone.
A phone. In the back.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
That's what they're all doing.
That you're correct. So they want the same things we do, right? It's just a different world now, and they're doing it with a different avenue. So they want the same things we do. So for you, it was probably important for you to be with your friends, family, fitting in, acceptance, self-expression too, right? Maybe you want to dye your hair, or you wanted to get your ears pierced when you got a little older, or maybe all of the above. Same things with kids. So we have the same child development, right? But we have just more powerful tools, okay? So don't get scared. Same child development, just more powerful tools. And lady in the back was right. The most popular social media site is now Snapchat. It was Facebook, but then we got on there and they jumped to Instagram. And then we got on there and they jumped to Snapchat. And now we're on Snapchat. So what do you think is going to happen? So there's one right now, TikTok. Have you heard of TikTok? That's really big right now. It's really hot. You know, going back to Snapchat, be careful what you're doing around your girls. I'm guilty of it as well. Right now, body dysmorphia is up with girls, and they're attributing some of that to the Snapchat filter. Some girls are going in to get plastic surgery at the age of 18, and they're actually showing the doctor pictures of their Snapchat filter face. So I've done it, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to get rid of their wrinkles? I'm like, oh, look, this is nice. I wish I really looked like that. And I actually have said that out loud to my daughter. So be cognizant of what you're saying to your kids, because you really want to empower them. And now, you know, she's across the country and I Snapchat her, and now I'm as real as it gets. And I'm proud of it. So just be careful what we model to our children. And it's what we express to them, because they are going to take our lead. So going to that, self-reflect before you post, before you reveal. Have conversations with them about that. Who do you want to be online, right? So some of the red flags that you want to look at when you are looking at apps with your children or platforms. Is it age appropriate for my child? Do they offer public default settings right away? That's a red flag. Location tracking and sharing. That's a big red flag too. And some apps are actually designed around that. You know, you can find how many people, you know, how many teachers are in your area right now? You know, how many kids, how many dog lovers are there in your area right now? Oh, they're at Starbucks. Go meet them. I mean, that can be kind of scary, right? And there's not an age on there, so it could be anybody. Real-time video streaming. Not too long ago, Facebook got in trouble. There was a story that was live streamed for about 16, 17 minutes, and kids were exposed to that. So make sure that your live streaming settings are also fixed if you don't want that for your family. Also, ads and in-app purchases, that can add up. If you have a credit card tied to your account and it's just one click away, some ads make it really easy. So make sure you look for that. Temporary pics and videos, Snapchat is a big one. And we'll get into cyberbullying in a minute and how you can combat not having to take a screenshot. A lot of kids don't want to take that because then they're bullied even further. So we'll get into that in a little bit. And if they have subpar reporting tools, most good apps will have a way for you to report a negative behavior, and they make it easy for you to find it. If it's not easy to find, they're not encouraging it. Okay, so that's probably a red flag. Some apps are based on anonymity. Is it like Reddit? Is that it? Is one Reddit maybe where you can just go on there?
Well, we're really tech savvy in our house. We play a lot of games. A lot of it is anonymity because it's under our game handles. There's Palringo, Telegram, Discord. There's a lot of chat apps that are just chat apps. And they don't have location services usually. They don't tell you where anybody is. But a lot of the cyberbullying happens via those chat apps that are specifically for them. And a lot of them have names too, where parents wouldn't think twice about letting their kids on it. They have no idea what it is. So. Right, and yeah, it just keeps going and going, and negative talk, hate speech, all of that. Cyberbullying and negative culture, if it does encourage that, you can also look at apps that have a feed, and you can read some of the feed. And if it's a negative culture, if there's lots of hate speech on there, that's another red flag.
So what can we do if our child is bullied, or what if our child is the culprit, right? So we want to report abuse. We want to encourage upstanding. So we use this term to empower kids. Stand up to the bully. If you see them bullying one of your friends or one of your classmates, stand up to that bully. Help your friend learn how to stand up by telling them that's not okay, or getting help and reporting it, not being ashamed of it. It's nothing they did. Make sure that they know that. Collect proof. With Snapchat, a lot of kids, mine included, never wanted to take Snapchat screenshots of it because they would say, no, they can see when you take a screenshot. So if it is bullying, and remember that word's tricky, right? It has to be a repeated pattern. It's not like an isolated event. So make sure that it's something that's happening over and over again to consider it bullying. So if it's happening and this person has sent a new Snapchat, encourage your child or instruct them to find you before they open that new one, have another phone ready, and take a picture of it. Okay, there are ways to combat this, and you should report it. There are laws against cyberbullying. You can talk to the police, you can talk to your school principal, a teacher, and they will help you, okay? And you can call us, we can help you find avenues to help as well. And you can limit online access. Sometimes they just need a break, and sometimes kids just want you to take it away from them. Sometimes first they'll be mad, but then, you know what? I'm the parent, and we're gonna take it away for a little bit. We're all gonna take it away. And with the older kids, you can make it a family thing, and buy-in's easier. You know what? We've decided as a family that we are gonna cut our media time, and it's gonna be across the board. That gets a better buy-in for you. So here are some digital resources for on the spot. Support face-to-face is always the best, but if your child wants to be a little more private or handle these things alone, which is a really good coping skill that you want to teach them, here are some digital resources that they can look into. So these are all like social emotional health apps, and they're all, everything that we have on our website is based on our research and reviews, so we stand behind them 100%. And I can try to have this deck available to you as well. So I just have to take a few of my notes out, and then I can share it with PD. Yes, okay. So how can we help? What are some things we can say? Sometimes we're at a loss of words, right? So we could just say, I notice that you prefer to stay in your room. Is anything going on? And you don't have to make it about cyberbullying or somebody picking on them, because a lot of times kids get ashamed or embarrassed about it. So you can just say, I've noticed that you're in your room a lot more. As a family, we decided that we're not going to have devices in private spaces anymore. So you don't have to just make it about them. You don't have to target them. A lot of times kids don't want to be called out. They don't want to be singled out, especially if they have other brothers and sisters. So you can just say, we're going to just do, it's a whole family agreement. Here we go. Remind teens that online friends are different than real face-to-face friends, real life friends. So encourage kids to come over, play dates, encourage, if your kid really is into gaming, maybe find an after-school club or a class that they can belong to, where they're also tapping into that interest, but they're also having that face-to-face interaction with other children, so they're not losing that, so they can have the best of both worlds. And bring time online back to a balance, okay? That's what we want to do. We want to set limits. We want to make sure that we're doing it across the board. That can even be, we're going to have a family charging station. You can't expect your teenager to charge their phone in the kitchen, and then they see you walking to your bedroom with your phone, getting in bed and looking at Facebook, and you're telling them blue light's bad for you before you go to bed, but then they walk into your room to say goodnight, and mom's on Facebook or Pinterest or whatever. You have to really talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. You're their best teachers. You're their first teachers. So if this is what you want to empower them. That's our goal, right? So talking about device-free zones, we also have a campaign, device-free dinner. I know it's hard right now to have dinner together. Our kids they have activities. We have work schedules that might conflict. So when you can, even if it's a breakfast or a lunch or even on the weekend, start imposing a device-free dinner or meal. That's always fun. It encourages face-to-face communication. I think our kids are losing some of that. You can talk about current events. You can talk about what they're doing in school. You can talk about interests, maybe plans that you have for the family. So, myth or truth, I think you know where I'm going. Social media alienates kids. How many think it does? Let's raise hand. How many think it doesn't? And you think both? Okay, well, we have some research behind that. So it's a myth. So 57% of all teens have made new friends online. Okay, so that's positive. We just want to make sure that they are positive friendships. So that's where you come in as a parent and you use all those great parenting skills that you have. 84% of boys who play network games with friends feel more connected when they play online. So it's not a bad thing. They just need to know how to be safe when they're doing it, okay? Arm them with those tools. And 68% of teen social media users have had online friends support them through tough or challenging times. It's really important that they have that support because teenagers, they're probably not gonna come to us first. They're gonna go to their friends first. So it's really important for them. And this is their world, right? It's not going away. And this is what they're choosing. So we need to really get them prepared to use it correctly. So that's good. We need to be the training wheels, right? Much in the same way that we gave them a bicycle, we maybe put training wheels on there at first, right? And we let them go. And then when they were done with that, we held the back of their seat. Same thing when it comes to social media. You wanna be the training wheels. And it's all about balance. You can ask yourself, is my child physically healthy and sleeping enough? Connecting socially with family and friends, not just online, but in any form. Engaged with and achieving in school. The media, device-free dinner, research shows also that they do better in school when you implement that at home. It also shows that they are less depressed, and it also shows that there's less substance abuse. So that's another plus for trying to do that with your family. And are they pursuing interests and hobbies in any form? And are they having fun in learning? Okay, are they not just using it, but are they creating online? So be there and show you care. So get involved, stay involved, see what they see and find fun in it. Play with them, talk with them about it, be their friends on Snapchat, get into it with them. Play a video game with them, show them that you can have a healthy balance. And then you can think of the 3 M's and the 3 C's, okay, to help you. You can model, monitor, and mediate, okay? So you wanna set the standard for them. You wanna use limits and not lectures. And you wanna be upfront about checking. Don't sneak around, okay? They're gonna lose respect for you. You tell them right away, I'll be checking. This is just what our family does. If you're not comfortable with that, then that's okay. Remember, this isn't, this is not a one size fits all. Take what you want from this presentation and do what fits for your family. But you could, if you wanted to do that, you could just say up front, this is what we'll be doing. I'm just gonna check in once in a while. It's to keep you safe. It's just to make sure that you're healthy. Mediate. The goal is to have them be able to do it on their own, right? And if you start from little and you encourage that good digital citizenship, then hopefully they have those tools and those skills, right, to help themselves. But if not, we can mediate, okay? Be ready to step in. And we can think of 3 C's. Choose, check, and chat. Help them make good choices online. Use our website. There's lots of advice on there. I could have a 6-hour presentation and probably still not be done with all of the resources we have online for you. Check what they're doing, like I said, and chat. Have chats about it. Do role play with them. What would happen if so-and-so posted a picture of you without your permission? Or what, if you're about to post a picture of your friend, how would you feel? You probably should get permission, so how would that make you feel? Because online, research is showing that 40% of college advisors are checking social media accounts right now. So make sure you have those conversations as well. And so that's really important to have those conversations with your friends, with your children, to have with their friends. Please don't post that. There was an incident where a child or a teenager was at a party, there was drinking there. That teenager wasn't drinking, but he had a cup in his hand, but he was designated driver. College saw it, they assumed there was something else in there, they pulled a scholarship. So make sure that they're tagging Their settings for tagging is correct. And sometimes they show up in other people's pictures and they don't even know it, but then they know mutual friends, and nothing goes away. Talk about it, digital footprint. We like to think of it as a digital tattoo, whereas a footprint you can kind of wipe away or it goes away over time. A tattoo can linger. You can need help to take it off, but it's there. And sometimes they think, well, I erased it. It could be there. It could still be there. So instead of shutting it all down, build it up with all these skills that you have. And I know many of you probably have so many already. So just remember, you are equipped. And when you say to yourself, I don't know what I'm doing, or my kids know more than I do, that's probably not true. So just have the confidence that you know more than you think you do, but we're here to help you and guide you. So if you ever have a question, just refer to our website, and that could be another source of help for you. Elena, can you help me just show them our website real quick? And I'm almost done. Sorry, I'm going super fast. I just want to make sure that Fireside comes up and tells you all the great things they're doing with our curriculum. So here's our website. So you can go into our website, and this is what it looks like up there. There's apps, there's what parents need to know. Okay, we can go to the next one. This is going to be your best friend for social media, what parents want to know, Parents Ultimate Guides. It'll tell you what you need to know. Parents Ultimate Guide to Instagram, Parents Ultimate Guide to Fortnite, Parents Ultimate Guide to YouTube. If you scroll up, I think there are a few more maybe. Thank you. So one of them is repeated, but so here, Parents Ultimate Guide to TikTok. Okay, and if we look at the next slide, we also have videos. So we have video tutorials, and they're about a minute long.
Can I interject?
Mm-hmm.
So just so you guys are aware too, all of our resources are free. We are a nonprofit. So all we ask you to do is sign up and use us, because that's going to be the best way to get the information out there and share the information and share our website with your friends.
Right.
You may have friends who they're not sure, what do I do? Who do I go to? What can I do? Please share. I mean, we're new
We'll talk
here.
about the newsletter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the newsletter.
Yeah. So
Okay,
if you can
here's
click
the
on
video.
that, here's the video tutorial. So they're about a minute long. So what is Squad? What is TikTok? What is Snapchat? And there's a lady on there, and she's really nice, and she's like, so this is TikTok, and this is what it's for, and this is how they use it.
Do you want to see one?
Yeah, let's see real quick.
Which one?
Do TikTok. Or which one do you want?
TikTok.
TikTok. There we go. TikTok.
What is TikTok? It's a social network dedicated to short, self-made music videos. You can record yourself lip-syncing to popular songs, share your own musical creations, remix titles, or browse other people's work. Okay, no surprises here, but kids love to get their groove on using this app. TikTok has poll filters, speed adjustments, and a duet function specifically for friends in other places. As fun as it is, though, there are a few things to watch out for. Because it uses real music, you can find lots of iffy song lyrics and performances that include swearing and sexual content. And if you don't want the world to see your video, it's a good idea to adjust the privacy and safety settings and select Private Account. To check out our full review of TikTok, visit us at commonsense.org.
So don't worry if you don't know all the latest crazes and apps and all that. Just arm yourself with tools and tips on how to approach those, okay? And how to create that digital citizenship in your child. That's where we should start. So make sure that you have those conversations early on. Knowing names and titles isn't as important as knowing how to maneuver them, how to navigate those sites. So make sure always the privacy settings, number one. So kids' digital well-being is common sense, right? So that's what we're here for. PD Schools is happy to use Common Sense. They are currently using Common Sense in schools. We are on the district website as well, and we Oh, before I introduce them, we do have this family media agreement. So if there's one thing you can start with, it's as easy as the family media agreement. And we have these available for you to pick up before you leave. And it keeps everybody on the same page. It helps with accountability, not just for your children, but for you as well. So you can put it somewhere in a common area, and you can refer to it easily, and it's very clear cut. So we'll hand that out to you. Also, you can sign up on our website. Let's see. This is the family and media agreement. And then here's some other resources. So you can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, even on Pinterest. If you sign up for our newsletter, you will get tips and updates. We have an event coming up that's on there as well. If we have future events, you can learn about those. Tell your school about us. Fireside's already using us. Other schools are using us, and they're doing wonderful things with our curriculum. You got this. And today, think about this when you go home, or if you want to speak afterwards with me, I'll be here. Wow, and Elena will be here as well. Wow, what's your big takeaway from today? If you have any burning questions for us, and now, what can you do tomorrow? Maybe you just want to start with this. Maybe you want to start with device-free dinners. Maybe you want to start with the family charging station. Think about one thing that you think will work or resonate with your family and go for it. Thank you so much. I will introduce Fireside in a minute. Here's a Survey Monkey for you. If you don't mind, this is my first presentation for Common Sense, so I would appreciate any feedback. I'm sorry I rushed through things, but I wanted to give you as much information as possible. So if you don't mind taking a few minutes, it should probably take you about 3 minutes, and do that survey for us. We'd greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, we are going to introduce Fireside. So thank you so much. And if we can call up Shannon Smith and Teresa Simmons from Fireside, they are going to share with you how they've been using our curriculum. We have a K-12 curriculum. We have all new lessons for grades 3 through 8 right now. We just piloted high school. We're about to pilot K2, and then by August we will roll out the entire curriculum. It's all research-based. It's all standards-based. We can align it with behavior programs. We can integrate it with all subjects. So it is award-winning. It is, like I said, research-based, and Fireside is using it beautifully, and I'm gonna let them tell you all the great things that they are doing. They are going to need their slides.
We'll get them on there. Go ahead and introduce your.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. So again, I'm Teresa Simmons. I'm principal at Fireside.
Mrs. Shannon Smith, is she?
I know. I really liked it over there. What we wanted to do today is just share. We have an amazing team of parents that Shannon will introduce, and they actually will come up and speak. But we wanted to start, as she gets this up, with the why. Why did we start this amazing digital citizenship program at Fireside? And the question we asked, and really this was our answer, is we believe at Fireside that we need to educate our students on how to be good digital citizens. Because every day we give them devices, and with those devices, it's a great deal of responsibility to use technology and to navigate, as we just learned, this huge digital world. So we wanted to empower our kids and educate them. So we came up with this amazing program that I'm going to let Shannon speak on, and then we'll have our team up here later. Thanks.
I'm going to speak a little bit more to that. We also believe that our students need to understand that the impact from the digital world can translate into the real world, and it's impactful for themselves, but also to others as well. So we thought this was a great opportunity to implement a digital citizenship program. It proactively gives our students the tools that they need to navigate this digital world. And then we were able to also involve parents, students, and our teachers in our belief that we need to educate our students on how to navigate this.
You just sign in your email so that I can get to you. Sorry.
Sure did.
There was an invitation
To me?
So she's saying it was there, you didn't go down far enough.
Oh, I just didn't put up.
Yeah, just go down one more and you'll get it.
Okay.
And so we're just going to talk to you guys a little bit about our planning and preparation, what the implementation of the program looks like, and then also.
And it's under Shannon Smith, there you go.
Perfect.
I forgot who it came from.
Too many people.
There it is, yay!
All right. You got your clicker, right?
I do, I haven't used this before, so just,
Arrow to the right, forward.
all right, perfect, thank you very much. Again, to reiterate, some of the things that we talked about are why here, and these were also some quotes for you to read, some good quotes from our digital citizenship parent volunteers. Sometimes it may be assumed that people, children included, should just know all the rules on how to be good digital citizens. And we feel our program has been a roadmap for them to navigate this online world. Digital Citizenship Program acts as a safety net, helping students remain safe and protect themselves, specifically their feelings, their identities, their bodies, their friendships when they're online. So our planning and preparation of our Digital Citizenship Program, we first had to figure out what curriculum we wanted to use. Common Sense is a district vetted program. It's well respected, and they have an extremely robust K-12 curriculum that we feel educates teachers and parents and students. And it's organized by specific grade levels and has easy to follow lesson plans. It also has, ooh, sorry, I'm out of breath already. We have Common Sense has a partnership with Nearpod, and if you're unfamiliar with Nearpod, it's an interactive presentation format that the presenter is able to project the presentation on all of the students' Chromebooks, and it's interactive. So there's activities within the presentations that students can click on and answer questions that have been embedded. And it is, all of the lessons have already been created, which is really wonderful. Our next step was reaching out to our parent volunteers. We wanted to model our digital citizenship program after some other really successful parent volunteer programs on our campus, like Junior Achievement and Art Masterpiece. We reached out to some parents and had some discussions about just the value that we see in teaching our children how to navigate the digital world, and they were in support of that as well. All right, we have our curriculum maps. So we had our parents come together and really kind of dig deep into this curriculum. We can explain a little bit about how we kind of formatted our program, but we reviewed the Common Sense Media curriculum and had discussions about which topics we felt were most important for our children to know. Some of these examples included cyberbullying, talking safely online, which me should I be for some of our older students when they're just talking about their online presence. And at the same time, oh, thank you. And at the same time, we were collaborating with our teachers who were really enthusiastic about this program because they were already having these discussions with their students. And so what this program allowed was for the time dedicated for these topics that we felt were very important. And then our parent volunteers were able to get with our teachers and plan when they were going to come in and teach these lessons. And then lastly here, we are continuously reflecting, revising, and realigning what we're teaching our kids. We know that the digital world is evolving constantly, so we as a group also have to evolve. Another great thing that Common Sense has done is that they've updated and given us new lessons and new topics for us to review. So at this time, I'm going to invite up two of our digital citizenship parents. We have some more representatives here. We're going to talk about the implementation of the program and also kind of its impact here. So I have Anju and Rachel, and then Jen and Nisha are also two of our parent volunteers, and then Emily and
Michelle had to leave.
Michelle had to leave, but they were here earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this off.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Anju, you have the video for a moment. Here, can I have the clicker soon? So, hi everybody.
I'm Anju Beluja. I have 3 boys at Fireside. I have a 5th grader and then twin 3rd graders. And we were incredibly lucky that Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Simmons decided that they wanted to be a pilot school for the digital citizenship program, because it's something that many of us feel really strongly about, and we love that the kids are learning how to safely use technology. And like one of the quotes that Shannon had put up was about, that we just assume that kids know how to navigate. And I know, Vicki, you mentioned that sometimes we just say, well, you're a 21st century digital citizen, you figure it out. And, kids, they have a lot of common sense, but at the same time, we're just giving them additional tools. And we love the Common Sense Media curriculum as well. Just as a parent, it was something I was already using for ratings for my kids. But to see that you guys had all the additional resources was really exciting. So just so you guys know how we sort of structured the program this is now our second school year of running the program. We only right now offer it to the 3rd through 6th graders, and we set it up so that we could actually teach once a month. So when we originally started, there were 4 of us that volunteered. So each of us took a grade and we did all the classes for that grade. And we're slowly starting to add some additional volunteers. So we're up to 6 this year. We hope to be at 8 next year, so we can start, divvying up, because it's a fairly large time commitment. We have to go through and review the lessons beforehand, make sure that all the activities are appropriate, because we have about 45 to 60 minutes per lesson. And that just sort of depends on the teacher and where it fits into their daily schedule. So as Mrs. Smith also mentioned, we are using, all the kids use Chromebooks. So we can actually go through, we can modify some of the lessons, which I will definitely say that we have. We pull certain things out, we add certain things in. We've even combined, as you guys have been updating lessons, since we had different lessons last year and new lessons this year, we've actually taken some bits of the old lessons and the new lessons and put them together, just because that's what works for us. And it may be different from school to school, and also as the information evolves. One of the other things that we do, which we really feel is very important, is the parent communication. So both years we have started with technology night, where we invite all the parents out to come, and I think we've had Not My Kid come out and present, and then we talk about the digital citizenship program and what the kids are going to be receiving through the school year. And then monthly, after the lessons are done, we send emails to the parents letting them know what we covered, the overall objective, and what was part of the lesson. And then the big thing is also our tip sheets. So on the Common Sense Media website, with each of the lessons are what they call their family tip sheets, which have great discussion points for parents to have with their kids, whether it's that evening or sometime maybe over the weekend when you've got a little bit of a break. But it's just nice. And then we also try and give them additional resources. And Mrs. Smith has actually put together our own technology website link. So we put everything out there so that parents, and we give them that link every single month. They're probably a little tired of seeing it, but just so they know that the resources are there, and I think that's about it in terms of how we do it. I know, again, very quick, sorry. Yes, hi John.
So I just had a question on when you go in to teach, and you do all the classes come together in a certain grade, and you teach all of them, or you go into each?
We go to each.
Classroom.
So it's depending on the grade, anywhere from like 4 to 5 classes. Okay. So yeah. But anything else on sort of how the implementation goes? All right, I'm gonna turn over to Rachel, because we gotta get everybody out of here.
Ready to go warp speed, everybody? All right, I am gonna round it out here. I will say, I'm not gonna, I know we're ready to go, tummies are probably rumbling, but this is easily the best part of my week every single week. Being in these classrooms with these kids, using the Common Sense content to really enrich their lives, and then hopefully enrich the lives of the parents as well. The impact that it's having on our kids, and I wanna say maybe our greater impact is gonna be on the parents, is astounding. It allows our kids to engage with technology while learning how to use technology. So I can literally walk around shoulder to shoulder with the kids. We pull up websites together, we check it. Is this website following all the COPA laws? Oh, it's not. I probably shouldn't be here because I'm under the age of 13. Different things like that. So it's very, very hands-on, real-time kind of work. Very relevant to their day-to-day lives. They'll talk about things that happened 15 minutes before we walked in, and we add that to our discussion. Super meaningful for the kids, which, as you guys know, that's the best way to get to them, is to hit them where it really counts for them. Our students are immediately able to implement then those strategies, those skills, the things that we've talked about
I'll leave them and I'll say, hey, you guys, I'm gonna give you a little bit of homework before I walk out. I'm not even out the door. And they're like, can we look this up really quick? Can we do this really fast? Super engaged with the content. Thank you, Common Sense Media. Really, at the end of the day, you guys, we're not teaching these kids a lot of stuff they don't already know, okay? We're just trying to get them to kind of stop at that moment of what I call impact with them. You're playing a game. You're almost at the next level. We build this whole emotional site up for them. A loot box pops up. What are you gonna do? And so we talk about what is that critical thinking process that's gonna happen right then and there when all they care about is getting to the next level, but are they gonna make a good choice to get there? Total side note, I think it was something that you mentioned earlier. I'm a little bit of a nerd in this area, so I read a lot about it, but there was a student, a high school, 17-year-old high schooler in Canada that spent $7,600 in loot boxes on one game. The FIFA soccer game, I think it is. One kid, one game, $7,600. So loot boxes are real, and it's real money. Provide them with the tools though, so they tap into their own critical thinking skills. We're just trying to teach them how to use that and when to use that at the right time. Again, I think probably the biggest next step for us is building an even stronger partnership with our parents, because these kids know this stuff. It's making us feel as empowered as the kids feel now, right? To help them navigate, have those conversations. One of my favorite parts of the family tip sheets that Anju mentioned is that they all have conversation starters. So if you just tap into that one time and just get one line off of it, and it can be super casual. You don't have to formally sit down at dinner and say, we're gonna have a talk about digital citizenship tonight. It's just on the fly while you're in the car, you know, or, you know, waiting in line at In-N-Out Burger, you know, just simple little conversation starters that can really open up very insightful conversations that you'll have with your kiddos. Again, it was alluded to as well. It provides a safe environment for our kids to share feelings and experiences that they might not want to share otherwise. We kind of think that we might need like some school counselor badges, because the things that these kids will tell us in these safe places of their own classroom amongst their peers is amazing. And so we kind of have to tell our 5th and 6th grade volunteers, like, you need to be ready for this, because kids are going to tell you things you're not expecting. And so you gotta be ready on how to handle that. And sometimes it's a partnership with our administrative team to say, hey, I just walked out of a 6th grade classroom and they're sharing this with me. I think you might want to address this, either with the teachers, with the grade level, depending on what it is. It really floored us, but we also took that as a huge compliment that the kids felt comfortable enough with us and in that conversation to share that. And they were telling it about themselves. They weren't going, oh, I heard that a kid, you know, maybe at another school said this. They're out in themselves, you know. Guess what I did the other day? It was not the best decision. This is what happened. But at the end of it all, we really like this program because it speaks to our PBIS program at our school, which is our SPARK program. Our kids need to be safe, positive, appropriate, responsible, and kind, online and offline. And if you're doing that, then things are going to be okay. We would love to share this program with you guys at your schools. Like she said, Common Sense Media, all the content, all the lessons, presentations, worksheets, everything is free. It's at your fingertips. You do not have to have a bunch of carts of Chromebooks to make this happen. You do not have to use Nearpod. You can do it paper and pencil if you want. It's still amazing, and it'll still touch them in the same way. So next slide, I think, where's my clicker? It's just contact in case you guys want to get in touch. Mrs. Smith is our kind of sponsor, if you will, for the program at the school. So if you can get in touch with her, we would love to come and chat with you, whether it's your PTO group, maybe it's just your PTO board, maybe it's your principal, and share with you what we're doing. We know that you guys can do this too, and we think you're going to find a lot of value in it, and that's why we came today. Thank you.
She brought up a very good point. A lot of teachers are overwhelmed with their classrooms and everything that they have to do, including assessment and all the subjects that they teach. So tapping into this resource, if you are on your PTO or your school council, this is a great way to get this program into your school and present this to the administration at your school. It can be done. just in the same way as, for example, a junior achievement program. A lot of our media specialists are using it, so it's not, doesn't fall on the shoulders of the classroom teacher. So, and all of our lessons are easily integrated as well. One thing she did bring up is that feeling. What happens when you see that feeling, or when you feel something's not right online? I forgot to mention, you can think of the word fire, and you can teach your kids the word fire, okay? So, red flag feeling, fire. Feel, how does this make you feel? If this is making you feel happy, then it's a green light, right? It's not making me feel happy. Maybe that's a yellow light or a red light. Identify what it is that's giving you that feeling, okay? If you are happy because you're getting a lot of likes, is that a reason that we should be happy? Or we're putting our self-worth on the validation of others? Teach them to be those critical thinkers. But if it's because you're able to keep in contact with your friends, or you're on this platform that allows you to keep in touch with your friends because you moved away, or you're being able to communicate with grandma and grandpa because they live on the East Coast, identify what that feeling is coming from. Reflect. Once you've identified that feeling, reflect, okay? And then enact. Think about what you're gonna do, okay? Fire. So that's another thing you can teach your kids. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate Fireside taking the time. We're sorry it went over. Appreciate all of you for staying late. We have a lot of giveaway takeaways for you, and then Elena's going to talk about our event that's coming up at the end of the month.
So we do have these cards for you guys. You can take them. They're basically on one side, it's tips for digital well-being, being what families can do. And it's funny because on the other side, it's what companies can do. And that's something that we don't think of a lot, is we're a community. So it isn't all about the schools and the parents and the teachers and the administrators. It's about the businesses and the people who are here to support you. So share this. There's some over there on the table. Yeah. The last thing that we wanted to tell you about is at the end of the month, so it's not a lot of time for you, but on the 30th, we are actually hosting our first thought leadership event. And as I mentioned before, it is going to focus on, it's a panel discussion focusing on smart devices, voice-activated devices, how it impacts the family. The seating is limited, so you do have to RSVP, which if you go to our website, I have flyers, but you can't RSVP on the flyer. So if you go to the website you'll find the events and just click on this one, which is, well, it says, what's that you say? Smart speakers and voice assistants. And just click on that and you can go and register. And it's at 22nd Street and Camelback at the Anchor Center. We're in the same offices as the Arizona Community Foundation. We mentioned it, Vicki mentioned at the beginning that we are fully funded for 3 years by the Arizona Community Foundation, the Phoenix IDA, and the Nina Mason Pulliam Trust. And so again, when we talk about community, these are 3 organizations that came together after hearing a presentation from our CEO, who was here from San Francisco, and said, we really believe that we want common sense in Arizona, that we want boots on the ground, we're the boots, and we want to be able to spread the word. And thank you very much for spreading the gospel, so to speak, of common sense. We're just delighted that you guys are able to use the curriculum, use the information and the resources in the way you do it. It sounds fabulous. So,
and I am looking forward to working with you. Again, my services are free, so we're a nonprofit, so I am happy to come out and do parent talks, family nights. I have things booking up already. I've already done some. I also do professional developments for teachers at no cost. So contact me. I have my business cards, but you can also find me online, and I'm happy to set that up if you want to talk to your leadership and learn more about us. I'm happy to come in and talk to your principal as well on how we can integrate this.
Do you guys have any questions while we're here?
I'm going to turn off the Facebook Live.
Thank you.